Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
Y'all got a form. Don't tell me y'all.
We gotta get it today.
Well, I'll get my own, but thank you. I appreciate
So are you ready with the recording?
Yeah, it started.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the planning commission to order. And I would ask for the roll call to be done by our clerk, but before you do it, I had gotten a text shortly before the meeting from one of our members. That Maggie Larson, that she couldn't make it tonight, for circumstance that was not expected of the summer. So she won't be here. That's, I'm telling you how her situation is. Would you proceed?
Ryan Stowe,
Here.
Commissioner, Vice Chairman Newton,
Here.
Commissioner Snyder,
Here.
Chairman Cubie.
Here. Okay, so that would be 4 out of 5. We have a quorum. And as you can see on the agenda, this is a joint public hearing, so a little later in the meeting, the town council who is present will be calling their portion of the meetings on the public hearings order. But at this time, would you all stand with me, please? Flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I see everyone that's turned out here tonight. And at this point, planning commission will consider any options that may be made to the agenda, then adopt the agenda for tonight. Does anyone on the planning commission here change or have some action for us to take? Additions? Hearing none. Am I cutting you short? Okay, hearing none, I have 2 things I would like to change on the agenda for before that motion is rendered for us. First of all, I'd like to add under add item J2, which will follow the third public hearing, and that will be for consideration of a joint resolution of opposition to Valley Link transmission lines, which are very much in the news. They are proposing a route through Louisa County. So this would be heard while the town council is still actively involved in our meeting, and we're both here at one time. So that will be presented by the mayor, I believe. And secondly, I would like to add immediately after adopting the revised agenda, the civility pledge that I'm going to speak of. Do I have a motion from someone to adopt the agenda as revised?
No move.
And I have a motion to adopt it as revised from Mr. Snyder.
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Newton. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the adoption of the revised agenda, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes unanimously 4-0. All right. I hope that everyone had an opportunity to sign up if they're going to wish to speak at the public comments or at the public hearings later. And if you stop by the table outside on your way in, there are sign-up sheets for each and the agendas, but there's also framed and out there on the table, the Mineral Planning Commission Civility Pledge. The Planning Commission adopted this voluntarily at our January meeting. It had never had one before, and the Planning Commission thought it was worthwhile to do, And this is something that the general nature of what's in it was provided by the Virginia Municipal League to counties, cities, and town governmental agencies for consideration to help structure meetings so that they work effectively. So we're going to have it on our, and we did last meeting, on our sign up when you come in every meeting for people to see, because it directly applies to us and we sign it. But anybody that's participating in the meeting is also asked to comply with it. So I'm going to read it real quickly this one time. Mineral Planning Commission Civility Pledge. Each member of the Mineral Town Planning Commission pledges by their signature below, individually and collectively, to practice and promote civility within the Mineral Town Planning Commission at all times, especially while commission meetings and anytime while in the mineral municipal building or on town property. The appointed officials of the Mineral Town Planning Commission voluntarily enact this civility pledge, intending to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for positive civil engagement, respecting others, their viewpoints, and finding joint solutions for the betterment of the community. This pledge ensures that all communications, both spoken and written, shall be civil, open, honest, and transparent, as this is vital for cultivating trust and relationships. This pledge further ensures mutual respect to achieve municipal goals, recognizing that patience, tolerance, cooperation, and civility is imperative to success. This pledge creates opportunities for finding common ground amongst individuals and engagement by all in civil discussion, seeking solutions through active listening and encouraging positive remarks and thoughtful participation. A copy of the most recently or a copy of the most current adopted and signed civility pledge shall be maintained in a planning commissioner's file, accessed for public inspection upon request. Compliance with the spirit and provisions of this pledge is also expected of all participants in meetings. Revised and adopted January 27th, 2026. So anyway, I just wanted to, because I don't think there was anybody at our meeting in January where we first discussed it and enacted it, but we just asked everybody's awareness and compliance with that. And moving on, the first item, let's see, I'll point out that item 1 that was following was pertaining to the minutes, which is normally done at this point in time. But to save time and get to the public hearings and then take care of a routine matter like the minutes, I moved that down to a later part of the public hearings that have been conducted. Now it is time for public comment, and the public comment is opportunity for anybody in the audience that would like to speak to us about things that they might like or dislike or have issues too that they want to speak of. They're provided each person is provided 3 minutes to speak, but because we have public hearings, it is not the time to talk about something that's going to be talked about in the public hearing, because you'll have a chance for each one of those to speak as well. So if you want to talk about something other than the public hearing, now's the time to do that. If it's about the public hearing, wait until that each one comes up. Did anyone sign up to speak for public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anybody interested in it? Okay, if not seeing or hearing, then we'll pass on and close the public comment section. Madam Mayor, would you like to call the
With that
council?
being said, I'll call the Mineral Town Council to order. Could you do roll call for them, please?
Yes. Councilmember Covert emailed me earlier. She will not be here tonight. Councilmember Hempstead,
Here.
Councilmember Cubie,
Here.
Councilmember McGee,
Here.
Councilmember Spedden. Did you hear from him?
He's not coming.
Councilmember Von Tye and Mayor Harlow.
Here.
All right, so we have both the Middle Town Council and the Planning Commission involved in these 3 public hearings, and both organizations have been called to order. And that brings us to the public hearings. And I would like to first bring to your attention what the first item is, and that's the review and discussion of revisions to the light commercial district. It'd be the first one in the package, but I don't have your package, so I can't say that it is. Okay, very good. So I'll present a little overlay for what is transpired in here. And then we'll open it up to the public for anyone that wanted to speak regarding it. The light commercial district, if you look at the statement of intent, are the ones you're looking at, are they red line? Do you have red lines on it? Yeah. If you have both, then skip over the one that has no red lines on it, so that is what current zoning for light commercial district reads, how that before any action is taken, that's the way it reads. If you go to the next one after it, it is the way that it reads, and then additions or deletions are marked in red. So let's just look at the one that makes it easy, the one that has the red lines on it. I'll read the statement of intent first on each one of these, and then go over changes in the process. So, the light commercial district 42523 reads, the primary purpose of this district is to establish and protect a limited business district that will serve the surrounding residential districts. Traffic and parking congestion shall be held to a minimum to protect and preserve property values in the surrounding residential districts. And insofar as possible, all neighborhood business development shall take place in a limited business district. It went on to say, water and sewer shall be provided and required for use unless the development is of multi-housing units, single family or multifamily, and or multiple buildings on multiple lots. Then the developer or landowner would be responsible for water and sewer within that development. And if you look at the note right below that red writing, it says that that ordinance, as you see here, was revised from previous ordinance on August 29th, 2024. So it's been this way before we talk about changes and possibly recommend changes, act upon it. This has been that way for about 1.5 years. What? Okay, it's that has been recommended to be deleted, and I will say that the reason that the planning commission discussed in eliminating this, and it discussed it at a meeting on August the 30th, and then they did not act upon this one, the planning commission, because there was a lot of concern about adding single family dwellings and all as a permitted use in the light commercial district. So with that concern primarily, you will see in a moment that that got deleted, and therefore they also expressed concern about water and sewer being referenced as being run to the developments, whether it be to houses or commercial. And so that's why that portion in the statement of intent was revised. We're going on and into the use regulations, you'll see the first item that got changed, and the primary thing that brought up the reason for the change was that single family dwellings did not exist before August the 29th. It did not exist as a permitted use, but it got changed by the council to add it in number 2, single family dwellings except modulars, which are permitted by conditional use. So the planning commission recommended that that be taken out. Then on item 5, there was listed in here self-service laundries, and with the discussion you can see, you go down into item 4, retail businesses already listed. So it got moved down to being in item 4 and not have it up there at 5, just to consolidate uses in one place. It also says in the body of retail businesses, beauty parlors, so they recommended changing it to hair salons, which is a more accurate current description of those types of places for your hair grooming. In there, you see a red for cafes, and that's there because item 7 below listed restaurants and cafes. But the listing in the big paragraph already had restaurants in it, so it has been listed twice. And cafes could more easily just move up and then do away with that item 7 listing those two. So that's just cleaning up items. And finally, if you go to the back page, the modular homes and manufactured homes that are not traditionally built block homes was in the code as being number 2 under being permitted with conditional use permits. And it also came into existence August 29th, 2024. Well, the planning commission is recommending not to be adding new housing into light commercial. It's also doing the same for general commercial, but that new housing in those areas are not recommended as a use because there's so little commercial property in the town of Mineral, basically on Louisa Avenue and Mendel Avenue. And a different portion of the code says non-conforming uses that already exist are allowed to be built back. I could reference you to that. So with that, all of like my house and many other people that have older houses already existing in light commercial and general commercial, they would be exempted. They could be built back if they were lost in a fire or a tornado or some other reason. So there's no reason to be allowing new houses, is what this is talking about, to be going into this limited amount of commercial property. We would recommend for the council to consider following along with the comprehensive plan that was adopted by the planning commission and the council back in 2024 that says we want to develop the core area of Mineral and Louisa and First Avenue in between for commercial uses looking like, or mixed uses in that area, not to use up the property in new residential housing being built. So that is the best that I can tell you about this light commercial. It was adopted at our February meeting to send along to council, but here we are in March. And it was decided to have this as well as other ones in a joint meeting. Mayor and I discussed that. I would say, and you can correct me if you feel differently, that because of the urgency of addressing the little bit of available commercial properties that are on Mineral Avenue and Louisa Avenue is going to escape us if something isn't done quickly to restrict it to being commercial, not be new housing built.
Okay.
To discussing that.
Okay.
So that's my presentation on it, and I'd like to go ahead and open the floor to anybody who wanted to speak pertaining to this. As far as the planning commission, I'll open the public hearing for comments related to light commercial. Would you like to do the same?
Absolutely. Council's welcome to comment also.
We probably should have a motion to open the hearing. A motion afterwards to close it.
I move that we open the public comment portion of the hearing.
All right, I have a motion by Jim Snyder and a second by Teresa Newton to open the public hearing for the planning commission. Would you do the same?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the town council.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody?
Did I ask for everybody to vote on that or did I not?
No, you haven't.
Would everybody consent to
I consent.
public hearing? So that passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll get it on board. So who signed up to speak on this? Anyone?
Hank Stardinger.
Okay, Hank. 3 minutes, sir.
Alright. I'm Hank Stollinger, 929 Mineral Avenue. You answered one of the questions on the light commercial part because I live in light commercial / residential. The other was about the water and sewer. My property grandfathered because my house is on a drain field, and if the drain field fails, the closest sewer is the manhole at the intersection of 8th Street. So would I be required if I came in and said, I need sewer?
We'll address that. We'll take note that you asked that question. We'll come back
Okay,
and we can then communicate back and forth.
okay, that's fine. That's just one of my concerns being I'm like commercial. You know, you answered the one about something happened to the house or whatever, being able to, you know,
Right.
build back. So
Okay,
thank y'all.
thank you very much, Hank. Anybody else?
No, sir.
All right. That would end the public comments pertaining to this public hearing. Take a motion to close it from the planning commission's perspective.
So move.
Motion for Jim
Second.
Snyder. Who's second? Ryan. Ryan seconded, and I have a vote on that. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. That 4-0. 4-0 pass. Motion to close.
All in favor of that motion, signify by aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
We'll get real good at this by the time tonight's over. Okay, so the public hearing motion has taken place on the light commercial district. And I'll open the floor if you want me to go ahead and proceed. We don't have to open the floor, we're open session. For any comments that planning commission or, well, actually, this part should come to the customers so that we can make a recommendation to you all. But let me just open this discussion. You all have any comments or questions regarding what we're proposing to do, and in the process, we want to address Hank's obviously, but
Where would Hank's comments be covered?
well, I think what Hank was asking is, or saying, is that he lives in light commercial.
Like commercial.
Right, and you have your own private, what, well,
Septic. I'm on town water, but I have septic, but there won't be enough room to put another drain field in. And being it used to say shall provide.
Right.
And my grandfather that the town still would run sewer to my property corner if my drain field fails.
my answer to that would be the water and sewer provisions of the town are in chapter 355 of the code. And I don't know if it was thought to be necessary to be things into the light commercial. And
4/20/23.
yeah, 425,
Well, that's in the what? But it is Article 5, Chapter 355.
yeah,
The water and sewage shall be required and governed by the town of Mineral. Article 5, Chapter 355, sewage and sewage disposals. It will be available at the owner developer expense.
so if you look in the sewer and sewage disposal section of the code, there's also another one for water. It gives about 8 things directly, I think, deal with the circumstances related to the discussion here and your question. Okay, one, it says that mandatory connections to public water, the owner of any house, building or property used for human occupancy, employment, recreation, or other purposes situated within the town and abutting on a street or alley or right of way in which there is now located or may in the future be located a public sanitary or combined sewer. Shall, at its own expense, install suitable toilet, plumbing facilities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's somewhat related. That doesn't answer your question. Use of private system when public sewer is not available. Where a public sanitary or combined sewer is not available under the provisions of 355-10, the building sewer shall be connected to a private sewage disposal system complying with the provisions of the article. So if you had enough land to put in your own sewer system and it wasn't the line already there provided by the town, you could do that. The town would give you a zoning permit that defines what zoning you're in. You take that to the county of Louisa, and they would be the one to inspect it, and the rules would be whatever the health department requires, which
Yeah.
you need a dual system or you need a backup of
Well, you have to have a reserve.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Back years ago, when that house was built in 49, they didn't, because it said,
Right.
you know, town
You probably-
shall provide.
Yeah, you.
So in other words-
You would probably need to connect to the town system, that's for sure. Let me cover another.
What I'm trying to find out is, am I gonna have to pay the connection fee and run all the piping?
I believe that's covered. See if I've got it. If you want to answer.
Well, the code originally says that water shall be provided. It doesn't say who's gonna pay for it. It just says it could be provided.
When available.
When available, right, and when you read on over in the more descriptive water and sewer, it says if it's not immediately available, meaning right there for you to connect on, then the contractor or the developer is responsible for getting the line to your property. So I think, well, I'm pretty sure it means wherever you need to connect, you have to run the line and pay for that.
It's section 355-47, which reads connections requiring extension of public sewer within a town. Should application be made for a connection to the property in the town where there is no public sewer in an adjoining street or right of way, such application shall not be acted on by the superintendent. And the superintendent is defined as the town manager here, so superintendent, town manager, same thing. But shall be postponed until the next meeting of the town council, which shall determine whether such public sewer should be constructed and the amount to be charged to the applicant for such construction, provided that such changes shall be in addition to the tap charges and user charges provided for herein. So to me, not making up new rules, but going by what the town code says, that anybody that has a property and wants to build on it and it's not on an existing road that has water and sewer and particularly sewer, they don't have to if it's not there, but they have to be able to have enough land and they have to get a permit from the county and from the health department in order to do it. And they can do that. On the other hand, if they don't have enough land, what you're describing, or they want to be on the town system, there's nothing here in my estimation that says that the town has to pay for running those lines to anybody and everybody for residential use, private home use, or business use. This says pretty clearly in my mind that which shall determine whether such public sewer should be constructed and the amount to be charged to the applicant for such construction, provided that such charges shall be in addition to the tapping charge and user charge. So I haven't been here 20 years or more, and on council, you probably have been. And I don't know of the town paying for running lines to people or to businesses without town council's action.
No, never before in my previous terms have I seen that. But lately, unfortunately, that's what's been done and the town's been paying for it. But the code clearly says that the contractor should be responsible for it.
I guess to get back to trying to answer your Hank, I think that in your situation, I don't know how far a sewer line is from where your house is, I don't know how close it is.
I'd have to pump to it, to the manhole at 8th Street.
Gotcha. All right, you're right at, you're beyond.
Yeah.
That, you're on 9th Street, I guess.
Yeah, right on the corner.
Well, to me,
I mean, I don't have a problem with pumping it, but I feel like what the code stated about shall provide means that means I have to pay the connection fee and I have to do all the work.
It says
Well-
shall provide, it doesn't say who's to pay for it until you
So-
go on over a little further.
well, it
That
does,
code says, most of them, especially in this commercial aspect of it, says shall provide when available.
But it
yes,
still doesn't say who pays for it. It says shall.
But
provide.
on the other hand, it also says you can come to the town council.
yeah, right. So I personally think and recommend, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not trying to be a lawyer, I'm not your zoning administrator. But to me, the addition of what you're gonna do with water and sewer being added into the zoning classifications seems out of place. To me, it seems that you have a water and you have a sewer section that tells you the nuts and bolts of what you can and can't do and who's responsible. And that should be followed. Otherwise, you're getting conflicting statutes that then comes totally up to interpretation. I don't think that that's the wisest thing to do personally.
So if it goes to the county,
If you had to, if your drain field failed, what would you do? Put in a pump and a 2-inch line?
Yeah, and pump it to that manhole. I just don't wanna have to be the one who has to do all, I don't mind doing the work, but I don't wanna have to pay that whole big connection fee either. I mean, I gotta run all the line, and depending on which way I go. You know, if I run the line and gravity it away to the manhole, other houses can hook to it. So, you know,
When your drain field fails, bring it to the council and make a decision.
yeah,
my opinion, if you have to go to the county to get their direction, then if they say you've got enough room, then you wouldn't have to connect to it. But you don't know that until you have that issue.
right. I'm just trying to find out ahead of time.
And legitimately so, I don't blame you. I would say that this is a first step as far as the suggestion from the planning commission, and we only recommend council decides. But I think we're bringing attention to the fact that there's an alarming disconnect between what's been added into light commercial, general commercial, relative to water and sewer. And there seems to be clear explanations for who pays for and how to handle things in the sewer chapter of the code. That hadn't been revised or changed, so one of the things in the comprehensive plan was to look at the charter and look at the town code and look at bringing them to be consistent. Well, consistency is zoning should be consistent with the specifics of your water and sewer, and then they both have to be in compliance with the state code. We're creating disconnects right here in our own code. It became that way in my mind when these actions were taken last year. And I don't believe that this was the wording that was presented to the planning commission when we held our public hearings. But I believe that some of these changes took place afterwards, which the council has authority to do and the right to do. But again, I was personally shocked when I saw single family dwellings being put as a by right thing in commercial. Just don't see that when we have so little commercial property in our town. And if you start building from Mineral Avenue back over to St. Mary's and from Mineral Avenue back over to Louisa, and you fill up on the back street with houses, then you have no parking for the businesses that you hope get built on the front street. They're both zoned commercial. And we talked about an overlay district in the planning commission, and it was intended that the commercial area be developed commercially in a certain design to look like the turn of the century, like the older houses that are here. Don't throw me up a modern McDonald's that, you know, has the golden arches and the big yellow lights or any other types of things. So, you know, this is not consistent to build brand new looking houses in the commercial area contradictory to your comprehensive plan that both organizations adopted, and that's been done. And then to also allow all the commercial use to be used up. There's no more, you can't create it unless you want to change your residential property over to commercials off of the main streets. That's.
It was never brought up in the last 6 months that I referenced in all the YouTubes to try to get the minutes.
Right.
If they made a motion on it, it wasn't signed.
So you don't see minutes that reflect it.
Nope.
Okay. Well, again, what my suggestion would be, what's here, all that we did and got on what was advertised was to eliminate the statement about water and sewer. But I do point out the fact that it says that these just came into existence August 29th, 2024. I do believe that in this instance of light commercial and in the general commercial, which we'll look at in a moment, that there should be the reference put in there that these things shall be in accordance with the chapter that has to do with sewer. I don't think that's adding regulations. Even though it wasn't advertised saying that, it's not adding a regulation, it's referring you to where your answers, where the applicable information exists. So you can consider that when we get to a motion time.
Wait,
Yes.
make comment. I think, for Hank's question, also, it should be cleared up in there. If, for whatever reason, the town decides to pay for an extension, what happens with the connection fees?
Very good point. I think that we're having a joint public hearing because I believe it's kind of urgent to deal with the fact there's a conflict between the zoning now and the words that you can read in the sewer area. So this was our first step, quick action. And I don't necessarily say that this is the last that ought to be visited. I think it needs to be looked at further and clarified, your question and other things, but we didn't advertise it that way.
Right.
So you can always take stuff out, but you're not supposed to add more than what was advertised. So it's a good thing to think about taking the next step next time.
So Ed, if we're going to delete this section concerning sewer and water, then you're gonna recommend that we refer to the correct part of the code for questions concerning sewer and water.
Yes.
Yeah. Sewer and water would be our government separate code.
Yes. And I know what the sewer one is. I can look up what water is, but if you're looking at making a motion to it.
Well, I'm not even sure that it's necessary since we have a separate section for that,
That's right.
but
Yes.
that's the question.
You want to
Moving.
frame a motion,
We've already got it. We
No.
already had that.
but this is a
Not on
separate.
the water, but we already had it on
Okay.
25, 23. Referencing the Article 5.
Jim, can I ask you if you would let her read what she's got here?
Okay. What's going to be added is to 425-23 on the light commercial. Statement of intent is going to have water and sewage shall be required and governed by the town of Mineral, Article 5, Chapter 355, sewage and sewage disposals. It will be available at the owner/developer expense
And all that is already in
on
that.
page 16.
Okay. Then are we ready to move this one on?
No, we're ready to get a motion
That's
to
what I-
recommend to the town council what we want them to do, what we're encouraging. Folks to consider. Go ahead. You want to do it?
Go for it.
Planning Commission, the motion is that we recommend these changes to Article 5, Article 4, Light Commercial District, Section 425-23, in the statement of intent to strike that which is stricken and add references provided,
Yes, on Article 5, 355.
and that the other revisions be carried out.
Okay, that's the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you, Ryan. So we have a motion and a second. Basically to recommend to town council the adoption of the things that were outlined here in red. And to add in there the explanatory portion
Yes.
of shall comply with the chapter and verse of water and sewer. That's my summation of, right? That's okay. That being said, all those in favor of the recommendations of these changes for the light commercial district to the planning commission to be considered and possibly adopted, say aye.
Aye.
That's this code. Motion passes unanimously 4-0. Madam Mayor, you're up.
Hey, Council, you've heard the changes. Do you all want to make a motion as to how
And
to
we
vote?
could vote tonight on this comes town meeting.
No, we can vote tonight. Yeah, we can.
I don't think it's
So you
right.
want to make a motion?
You have,
Well, we have a quorum, so we can vote.
I could leave right now if you want us.
no, then that would be illegal. Yeah,
I will not be this far.
Charter says three.
not supposed to get up.
Three, I never missed a meeting. I had never missed a meeting.
But you-
But this should be voted on at our council, regular council meeting,
Well,
not
the public, or the code or the. It's a joint meeting. It's a joint meeting, but I know, but three.
But it's not supposed to be voted on, and we had the public hearing and then the meeting would do. And I make a motion that we do that the correct way.
Yeah, but that isn't the correct way. When we have a public.
How do you know?
Okay.
This is
Cancel.
getting out of order.
Please.
We have a civility.
Science ability program.
We have one.
And we can't
You're
have.
participating in our
And we
meeting.
would have four, because three, according to the super charter or.
No,
We're not gonna have an argument.
Monday
No, we're
night,
not go out.
We're not gonna have an
Monday
argument.
night
You don't
is not
want. All right, Ms. McGee, you're out of order. So you weren't recognized and you've been asked to stop debating it. You didn't have the
Hey, cancel, you've heard.
personally, there is no rule that says that you have to wait 30 days or to another meeting. When you have a public hearing, you can act that night. So you're incorrect in making that statement.
Cancel, you've heard the changes presented. Do I have a motion whether to accept or not accept? There's a second? Let's do it. Could you do a roll call vote, please? Erin?
Councilmember McGee,
No.
Councilmember Hempstead,
Yes.
Councilmember, Vice Chairman Cubey.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. So sorry. Councilmember Von Ty.
Moving on, next one,
So your vote total was.
3-1.
Okay. So the second public hearing for tonight is related to the general commercial district. And go again to the one that's provided to you that has the red markings. That indicates what changes for the public file. Consideration by the town. I'll read the statement of intent. Currently reads, the district shall improve that portion of the plan being intended for the conduct of general business to which the public requires direct and frequent access. Public and water sewer, where available, shall be provided and be required for use. That change was made on September the 26th, 2024, by act of the town council. No change there. That when we had our earlier meeting and discussion, we didn't propose any changes to it. We took that as presented. The use regulations, you'll see red lines, first on number 8, self-service laundry. It will move down to the retail section of item number 11, and it's called self-service laundromats. Number 9, red public billiard parlors and pool rooms, bowling alleys, dance halls, and similar forms of public amusement, only when recommended by the planning commission and approved by the council of the town of Mineral. Move to section B, permitted use by conditional use permit, item 3. That is what exists as adopted September 26, 2024 as a permitted use. And our discussion and recommendation is to move that to being a conditional use permit. As item number 3, you'll see it on the back page. That's just our recommendation versus it being permitted by right. You change the numbers to where public utilities is item 10, retail businesses is 11. You see beauty parlors again, or it was changed also to hair salons instead of beauty parlors. Go to the following page. Second page, permitted uses by conditional use permits. It previously listed trailer courts in conformity with special provisions contained herein. Secondly, mixed use development where retail space is at the bottom and apartments at the top. And number 3 was changed from the by right to being over here with conditional use permit, same wording about food hall, bowling alleys, dance halls. And number 4, it's my understanding that, the town council had a request last year sometime for a specialty shop to come into the Birds complex, what I call it, may not be that now, but Town Square, there you go. And, whatever it was proposed to be, didn't fall within a listed item. So the town council, I believe, added specialty stores like tobacco, firearms, and adult appropriate age retail stores, et cetera. And I guess that, was approved September the 26th, 2024 as well. So I think general commercial came up primarily by, council then for that purpose, and then other things were discussed at the same time, changes made. So, I would say before we open the public hearing and hear what other people say, that, that again, it's a general commercial, the other was limited commercial, and there's a lot of similarities. Again, there's stuff talking about water and sewer in here. But it's not as specific as the other one was. And, at this point, the council has not, or the planning commission had not made any recommendation, but we're about to hear a public hearing and we'll see what happens after that. Yes, sir.
I was gonna, before we did the public hearing on this, make two recommendations.
Go ahead. Sure.
One, under the statement of intent, it should follow the model we suggested for light commercial, exact wording. And, number 12, under use regulations, I would strike number 12 and put cafes right up there in the restaurant in number 11.
Okay, would
Do
you
this, that one.
would you just hold that thought then? And I agree with you wholeheartedly. After we have a public hearing and we can act on,
Well,
we don't want
in
to
case
take.
somebody wanted to
Yeah.
comment on that.
That's a good idea. Certainly a good idea. You have anything before I go ahead and open the public hearing? I would like a motion for the planning commission to open the public hearing on general commercial.
I say motion.
Brian, made the motion to open
Second.
the public hearing, and Jim made the second to do so. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 4-0. And Mayor?
Cancel, can we get a motion to proceed with the public hearing?
Motion to proceed.
See second.
Sure.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Okay.
All right, so the both of our bodies are open together for review and consideration of this particular general commercial district revisions. And do we have anyone to sign up to speak?
No, sir.
No one signed up to speak. Does anyone care to, since it's a few people?
I think we're good on every time.
Okay, all right. So I would entertain a motion for us to close the public hearing
So move.
from the planning commission. Motion
Second.
by Jim, second by Ryan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, 4-0. Close the public hearing from the planning
Make a
commission.
motion to close this public hearing for the town council.
Second. All in favor of that motion, signify by aye. Anyone opposed?
All right, so back to the planning commission, Jim.
All right, under statement of intent, it should follow what I have it on page 16. We would delete public water and sewer where available should be provided and be required for use to the statement. Water and sewage shall be required and governed by the town of Mineral, Article 5, Chapter 355, sewage and sewage disposals. It will be available at the owner developer expense. This is the statement we added for light commercial, and it should probably mirror that here. Secondly, I don't know how we missed it. Under use regulations, number 12, we have restaurants and cafes, but we have restaurants under 11. We should strike 12 and add cafes after restaurants, just to not confuse people, make them wonder what we were thinking.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. When I saw it, I don't see it.
For
Okay.
6-1.
Yeah.
and the only other one is the grammar teacher in me saying on number 4, under part B, permitted by conditional use permit, special stores, such as stores like tobacco, firearms, and adult age-appropriate retail stores.
Yes, the attorney gave.
Well, we don't know when Arnie went to school.
Yeah.
I did not teach him.
Could I offer one other thing about that?
Yeah.
To you?
That was fun.
It says et cetera at the end. Can we strike that? Because all that's gonna be, oh, did you say that?
No.
Strike it?
No,
Oh,
no, the attorney said we had to add it.
I think that's wrong, because if you put et cetera, you're creating a nebulous,
Well, I
endless
understand what you're saying.
possibility that's gonna be debatable from,
I think
you know.
the idea is that
The
it's,
zoning administrator is gonna end up having to determine whether he likes or dislikes what somebody brings.
No, because these come under conditional use permits, so the et cetera means
Okay.
it's gotta come to us.
Yeah.
I would agree that under those circumstances, that makes sense. I just didn't think et cetera is often in a directory of things you can and can't do. But a conditional use permit will make it so that you can say yes or no and under what condition. So we heard a motion. Do I hear a second to it?
Second.
Second. By Mrs. Newton. Further discussion. So in essence, before we vote on it, you've made under the statement of intent for it to coincide pretty much with what was under the light commercial at the end pertaining to water and sewer.
Right.
And then you've made these changes that are either additions or change on items 8 through 12. And you made some changes to item number 4.
Yes.
Age appropriate versus the other way around, and we that.
Okay. All right, number B1.
One,
Mm-hmm.
trailer courts is conformity with special provision. Yeah,
I thought we got rid of that.
well, on that, I would say maybe we did, and we probably did. But we didn't advertise it that way.
Okay.
I think if you strike that, you would be striking a possible activity that somebody might have thought of doing or wanted to do, and we didn't advertise that. So my suggestion is you'd be on better legal ground to leave that for now, but consider it as something to change on to in the future.
Somewhere in the code it says no trade.
Okay,
Yeah, so somewhere it says no.
Probably in residential.
Well, it does sound like commercial. I don't know about the article.
Well, for one thing, there's no such thing as a trailer anymore. It's a manufactured home.
are the trailer courts?
Manufactured homes.
Manufactured home courts? Okay. Well, that's just discussion. Do you want to have that? Jim want to agree to that because you made the motion and you seconded it. Do you want to recommend striking item number 1?
Again, it falls under conditional use permits,
Right,
so
you can say no.
we can say no when we talk about it. The wording is odd, because it mentions, conformity with special provisions contained herein. Where are they?
There is a section on trailer courts, trailers and trailer courts.
Okay, so we.
Yeah, just got rid of, we just got rid of. Single
Refer.
family, so that's what they are.
Yeah. How about that we reference that? Let me see if I can come up with it.
Special provisions reference
Reference the chapter of the town code relative to trailers.
appropriate codes. I think that would
Change the
work.
name to manufactured homes.
So again, that might be an addition, but all it is a clarifying. It is not a restriction that you wouldn't have to apply and comply with anyway.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if we have either trailer courts or manufactured homes, we're getting rid of single family homes in the commercial district period. That is a living space. That's not a business space. So, I mean, I guess it could be, but it's not going to be a business space in a court. You would have a singular thing, and that wouldn't jive with your comprehensive plan because it wouldn't look like the rest of their houses, so. Maybe it should be deleted because it's not consistent with what the commercial is. You're supposed to be doing to bring it all to consistency.
So what I would say is that we forward this document to you and then you all get to fix it. Slugger and
That is factually true. True. All right, so we have a motion and a second, and are we going ahead and leaving the trailer courts in conformity with special provision contained herein, but adding a reference to the trailer court chapter? Okay. All right, and you agree with that as a second? All right, anybody got any questions about what we're doing? All right, I call for the vote from the planning commission on recommending that changes be made to general commercial as outlined in red before, and as the corrections that just were reviewed by Jim in making his motion. All those in favor of the recommendation of planning commission to proceed like that, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Planning. Yeah, go ahead.
You heard the general commercial district changes. What do you recommend?
I need to add Article 5 versus Article 5, 355 to the statement of intent as Mr. Snyder has recommended in order to adopt sewer, as well as number 12, deletes restaurants and cafes. I would suggest that we get rid of B1, trailer courts, and on B4, change it to age appropriate.
Discussion.
We need a second.
What's the take of that motion? Good second. And then second. Jump, any discussion on the changes? No. All those in favor of that motion, signify by aye. Anybody opposed? 3-1.
All right. One. Move on to the third public hearing. Third public hearing tonight had to do with Article 10 on signs. Again, we've got the black copy first, which is the rate currently exists before any changes might occur. Behind that, you have what is proposed by the planning commission. So the planning commission, after discussion at our January and February meetings about signs, the lack of there being signs for public notice of significant things that come before the town, i.e. Public notifications related to rezoning, additional use permits, or zoning appeals things. Most places do put up a public sign on the property so adjoining property owners will know about it, and neighbors have an opportunity to ask questions and to attend meeting and all. But that has not been done in the town of Mineral up to this point. And it was also thought that since the town requires for opening and closing streets, alleyways, and things like that, that the town council act upon that and then a public hearing be held on it, that it would be also, though not required by law, but recommended from a standpoint again of doing something official act of town property changes and all, of opening and closing a road, that if you get a request for opening and closing a road, that too should be advised to the neighbors, to the adjoining property owners, and to people that might be interested or wanting to speak about it, so that we wrote this up as item number C and proposed adding that to Article number 10 for 2558 district regulations. Item C, public notification signs. Applicants that request a rezoning, conditional use permit, board of zoning appeals permit or that request a town street or alley shown on the official 1890 map of the town of Mineral to be opened or closed must pay an additional fee to the town for the required placement of a town-created public action notice sign. The 2 stars are a final comment below paragraph. The permitted action zoning consideration signage applies to all 5 zoning classifications, both 2 residential and 2 commercial, and the 5th one is a PUD. The public notice sign shall be placed on the applicable property by the owner applicant within 24 hours after it is issued at a location clearly visible to the traveling public, and it shall be maintained on said property until after the requested action has been reviewed, considered, and acted upon. So the 2 asterisks was about Mineral Town Council to discuss and determine fee. We spent, as a planning commission, a good amount of time talking about charging a fee for this, and if we were charging what it might be. The county charges $75 for the public notice signs. And some places, some counties give you a refund for you to bring it back, so as to be sure they get it back and can review it for it. Some places may charge more or less, and some may not give a refund at all. It's just collected for the administrative and other purposes. So, you know, we didn't think we were in a position to recommend what the charge ought to be amount wise, or whether you're going to refund half of it or none of it back to the individual. So the planning commission's position was, you all have the budgetary strings and the decision making, decide what you want to do on it. But again, the county of Louisa charges $75, and I believe you get your money back if you bring it back to them after the proceedings and actions have been taken care of for a process and a request. So also on the page, you'll see, show that. Also, you'll see on there, when we brought it up and discussed it, we also did section 42560 of the code talks about the issuance of the permits and the licenses, and we needed to add public notice signs if the council adopted that. And who handles it? We said the zoning administrator or designee is vested with the duty or authority to issue the license of public notice signage, public notice, and all that through that. However, we didn't take note that was in a different article. That's not the same Article 10 signs. That's Article 11, administration and enforcement pertaining to permits and licenses. We didn't advertise Article 11 in our notice that we were holding a public hearing. So strictly by the legality, I don't think that we could recommend to you to adopt the Article 11 because we did not put that notice in our public hearing ad that went to the paper and was advertised for 2 successive weeks. Or did we have it in the materials here or online? So I think that should be done, but it can't be done tonight legally without being contestable. So that's my explanation. And did you have a possible example?
Got a price today for just a poster board, 14 by 20 or 28. It's going to be around $10, and this is throwaway, but this will be posted on the property at hand. And of course, it's a zoning notice. And we'll fill in the appropriate address, what change is going to be made, whether it's for permitted use or zoning or whatever it's going to be. And then I looked it up in the Commonwealth, and it's 14-day notice. But we figured it would probably be 30 days before we could have a meeting on it, a regular council meeting. But anyway, they have to decide how they're going to do that. But anyway, it'll be held on such and such date, and it'll be here at the town hall. And that's about what it looks like.
So we didn't have in our recommendation a specific, that is a good example of what could be done.
If we could do something like that, clear laminate it, and then you could fill in knob or whatever in the blanks, and then reuse the sign by erasing what put in.
I've never heard of that. And I wouldn't waste my time bringing it back. Honest.
We didn't want to get tied down with trying to come up with the best solution of what signs to get. Might be best to check some places that are already doing it, see how, who they get to do it. Let it go from there. So, if you're ready, I'll ask for the motion for us to open the public hearing regarding the sign Article 10 revisions.
So moved.
Motion by Jim to us for the planning commission to open the public hearing. Good, I got a second from Ryan. Motion and a second to open the public hearing, and all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
4-0. The planning commission public hearing portion is open.
Council, someone want to make a motion to open the public hearing?
Moved.
Ernie second, all in favor of that motion, signify by aye. Anybody opposed?
So what is that? 4-0.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are open for discussion and comments. Do we have anybody that signed up to speak on this?
No, sir.
Nobody. I'll ask again, any of you all care to speak on this? Nope. All right, then I entertain a motion from you folks to close the planning commission public hearing on that.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Jim and a second by Teresa to close the public hearing of the planning commission on sign ordinance and changes.
Take
All in
the
favor, say aye.
vote.
There you go.
Cancel to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second by Afton, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. 3-1.
Okay, yes.
I'm going to say that my problem with this is that the purpose of the district regulations 425-58 is about commercial signage, and Part C is about public notification signage, which probably rightly belongs in 425-60. And we can't move that there today, but that's where it belongs in terms of what the intent is.
Understand. Having brought this to the light of the planning commission, I was just looking for where there was something about signs, and you're absolutely right. There was nothing about this in the sign was totally different. But you could well be correct in saying that that could be covered in Article 11. What, don't mind my saying, what I would encourage is, for the sake of the fact that we have no notification being done, and I don't know of other jurisdictions that don't put up public signs when they're rezoning and so forth.
What I would recommend is that we adopt it as it is and know that, oops, we need to fix this.
Right.
Since we can't fix it today, but we do want to get the signage, but I want to get it out there in front of you that it's in the wrong spot.
So I'm hearing you say you were making a motion to adopt the revisions that was in
Yes.
red here as item number C, but with the awareness that after it goes into effect, the council and us should consider maybe relocating it at the same time that we're talking about Article 11.
Yes.
To follow.
So, when we have a big chunk of work to do, I need to take care of that.
Okay. So I got a motion. Who's seconding it?
My second.
Teresa seconded it. Everybody understand the motion? Where motion is to accept the items as C, but to revisit that at another time, probably when we look at Article 11. Those in favor of that recommendation to the town council say aye. Aye. That passes 4-0.
Okay, council, you heard about the update on Article 10. Get a motion, to accept their recommendation.
I'll make a motion to accept the planning commission's recommendation to adopt C for working about the 28, but at a later time when they will look at Article 1, that they will place it in another section of the code.
So do we need to set up with the motion?
You certainly can,
Just wait.
but yes, I would say since this is already here and it wasn't advertised to have a fee, we'd be adding something that didn't get advertised.
Okay.
So
Was that okay, Jim?
you don't,
My motion?
I was considering a different thing and I apologize. So did your motion
I said
mention
we
a
would
fee?
look at it at a different date when we discussed Article 11.
Okay,
Is there a second to that motion?
who's got the squeaky chair?
All in favor, signify by aye.
Sorry,
Laura?
I'm also.
Got 3 votes.
I'll stay.
need to record it in some manner, so. The,
Extension?
3, 0, 1.
I got it.
You can vote on the second. That's 4 people. Then,
It was 3 and 1.
okay, all right, so I just didn't hear, thank you. So, that concludes the 3 public hearings. And at the beginning, I amended the agenda. Well, we closed the public hearing.
You need to adjourn this way.
No,
No.
we have another item that we wanted to discuss tonight, and that is a joint resolution. Called Valley Link and baseball power. There, if you'd like to.
I'm going to read you this resolution. It's the town general joint resolution. It's opposing the Valley Link transmission line in Louisa County. Whereas Valley Link, a joint venture of Dominion Energy, First Energy Transmission, and TransSource Energy, has proposed the Joshua Falls to Ye project, 115-mile, 765 kilowatt high voltage transmission line spanning from Southwest Virginia to the proposed Ye substation in Culpeper. And whereas Valley Link currently proposed project has 2 proposed routes, one to include approximately 20 miles of new transmission corridor through Louisa County that would cross agricultural, forest, and timberlands instead of taking a more direct route that would avoid all but the northwest corner of Louisa. And whereas the proposed routes are in close proximity to established businesses and residents, collecting property values and tax revenue to the county, and whereas the citizens of the town of Mineral have expressed extreme opposition to the construction of this overhead line due to its environmental and health impacts. Now therefore be it resolved on this 26th day of March 2026 that the Town of Mineral Council and Planning Commission hereby formally oppose of the Valley Link Joshua Falls Ye 765 kilowatt transmission line as currently proposed in Louisa County, and that the Virginia State Corporation Commission deny the Valley Link request.
Okay, so.
So
Plan addition.
you go first. You go.
So this was prepared and it coincides closely with what Louisa County did. And I understand that so did the town of Louisa and school board and many others. So do y'all have any questions or comments about it before calling for a motion and vote on it?
Well, I did find out that it will be crossing Lake Ghana off 522. And the way I figured it was gonna be more than 22 miles because it was on the other side of 64 coming this way. And two, either route that they take, it was near the school. Period.
The high school, middle school.
Yes. Yes. And two, this is Dominion and another electric company, I don't know what they're called, but, Dominion already stated that they were going to build a small nuclear plant to take care of the data centers. So I don't know why they're trying to do this. But it's two, it's Dominion and another one.
Power west of the Mississippi, it's a lot cheaper.
Well, I have a picture of one of those towers and I cannot believe how tall they are. I mean, they're huge and they have arms that reach out. I mean, it was on the side of the mountain and it overpowered everything in that valley. I mean, that's all you could see was that one tower, and the lines, they look larger than what the 425 or whatever the lines are now, you know, on the big power lines, that they look really big.
They're massive.
They are massive.
They're massive.
They put out a field around those lines that is massively bad, has massively bad effects on any living thing, plant or anything.
Well, that mountain was there, now that I think of it. But I don't know whether it was, you know, for the winter or the summer, but I have lived by power lines, not like this, and there was a constant humming coming from it, and they sparked a lot. So I can imagine what these 725s will do, or whatever the power is going through.
Can you imagine being on a boat underneath of it on Lake Anna? Or to be close to it in the school environment with all the kids?
So I have a question, just so I understand, is this, I take this as just a clear opposition to the extra 20 miles, not a general opposition to it coming through Louisa County at all. Is that correct?
Yes, but they don't want it at all. The county doesn't, the supervisors.
I just mean by the wording of this, it seems like this is just in opposition to the extra 20.
Yeah, I don't know that we can oppose it coming somewhere else. So
Yeah.
I would say it pertains to Louisa County.
I think that Goochland and Orange and other surrounding counties are coming up with their own resolution.
Yeah, I've read where it's 7 to 9 counties that are working collaboratively together in opposition. That's what I've read somewhere. But again, this is pretty much drawn from what the county has done, and the county is to collaborate to bring as much awareness to Richmond, where that decision is going to be made by the state corporation or some other entity, maybe the General Assembly. So everybody needs to work together, just trying to fall in support of what other Louisa County agencies have already done. And
The reason I ask is because of the note where it says the more direct route would avoid all but the northwest corner of Louisa, meaning that that route would still affect Louisa
Yeah,
in some way.
yes.
Okay, that, I just looking
Yeah.
for
But
clarification.
they have to go to 522 in order to get to Culpeper, where the other data center is.
So to
or
me,
more.
by the wording, it just sounds like this is an opposition to the out of the way route, but not an opposition to the direct route that would still affect the northwest corner of Louisa. It's why I ask.
I don't know, I'm the authority, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm reading it the same way you are, that, it talks about the two routes, but it seems to be opposed to any route.
How would either of you choose to reword it so we could move on? How could it be written on that point? Which paragraph is that in?
Second.
The second,
Land at the Timberlands been delete that instead of taking a more direct route, we could take that out. Does that make you feel more positive about it?
Yeah, there's not a direct. This takes.
Take that part
Let's
of it?
see.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay, geez, we'll take out that last part instead of taking a more direct route.
What part do you want, are you suggesting to strike?
Just everything after timberlands in that.
Right.
Okay,
Just
Paragraph.
period after
I see.
timberlands? Is that right? Is that what you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to make that motion?
Well, she's got and at the end of it. She's going and.
Well, that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's the format for them.
So you'll
For
leave
format.
and at the end, comma and and.
yes.
Yep.
In order to move along after.
Because it leads into whereas.
The suggestion is to, in the second whereas, delete, instead of taking a more direct route, that would avoid all but the northwest corner of Louisa.
Yeah.
Semicolon,
Right, and
or
And-
leave the semicolon.
leave the semicolon and put and, so it bridges to the next paragraph. That's your motion.
I so move.
Jim, you second it?
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution from the planning commission. Recommend that council consider this as revised, striking out instead of taking a more direct route, then would avoid all but the northwest corner of Louisa. Leave semicolon and leave and proceed on with the rest. All in favor of so recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion to adopt by the planning commission is passed along to the council 4-0.
Okay, cancel, for the resolution. Leaving out that portion instead of taking the more direct route, that would avoid all west corner of Louisa. Is there a motion to accept this resolution?
Except it.
Is there a second? All in favor of approving the resolution as amended, signify by aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, so it's 4-2.
Would you like to?
So, council, I need a motion for us to adjourn.
So move.
Or second,
Second.
everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you for coming out. We do this in.
Thank you, Becky, for coming.
Oh, no, that's just.
All right.
Thank you, so.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
You gotta keep that.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Acton.
see ya. Y'all want a 5-minute break or you wanna go ahead and get this stuff?
How long do you think it'll be?
Not very long, because with me not being here, I don't think we have a reason to talk about capital improvements and
Okay.
commission committees. I mean, we're gonna be very short.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. If y'all.
I took I took a half dose.
You'd like for us to see?
I'd like for us to proceed long enough to be able to drive home.
Okay.
Okay.
Approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any changes you want to address to the minutes that were? This is the meeting of February the 26th.
Started on page,
I wasn't. I can't.
which was very nice. I
Oh,
want
yeah,
to say.
since you didn't see it, here. On page 14, where it says Vice Chairman made a motion. Oh, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. That's not it.
Hitting it on page 16.
16. Yes, okay. I made a motion on
That's the light commercial district.
Yes. The third paragraph, I made a motion here and then I said 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on number 4, I added, Snyder made second. Can you move that under 4 by itself?
Yes.
Oh, okay, there's.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second to the motion that you made up above.
Yes.
Vote passed 4-0. Sounds good. Are there any other changes, additions, or deletions? If not, entertaining motion to adopt these minutes. As written. Motion by Jim and second. Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Boy, I'm just looking.
Okay, Jim, second by Ryan. All in favor of adopting the revised minutes, say aye.
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 That motion passes 4-0. Thank you, and good job. This covered a whole bunch of things, previously didn't do it on the February one. But good job. Let me go back to the agenda. The old business capital improvements plan was put on there. And Maggie had said that she might come back with some stuff pertaining to maybe the first year, prioritize it. But in that she wasn't able to be here tonight. Does anybody else have anything you want to say about capital improvements, Ryan?
Well, I wanted to talk about certain things that we could possibly add now, even before the budget.
Yeah.
Because the treasurer, well, all of them need to know what we think about what needs to be done first.
Okay.
As far as the capital improvement. After seeing everything that happened with the installation of the cable and everything in my yard, it's the front yard, thank you, Lord. I think we need to really pay attention to the water pipes. I saw one that's in the office. And they are in bad shape. There are some that they can't fix anymore. Because they've been repaired too many times. That was a big one for me. The other one was, I was looking at the market and we need, where the picnic tables are, we can leave those picnic tables there, but we need some picnic tables like in the middle where everybody walks, not right in a row, but just have them sporadically because there's so many elderly people that come and they need a place to sit when they're tired. And also the hill where the picnic tables are, we need to get some railroad ties and make steps to go down because there's a lot of elderly people or handicapped that can't get down. They have to go all the way around and come in by the dental office. So,
I'm sorry, I would say.
well, anyway, that's what I was thinking, that's a big need because we get a lot of people there during the summer.
We've talked about steps there, and that's a primary route for strollers with kids going between the market and the picnic, and the playground.
Right.
Well, now I'm not talking about steps like this. I'm talking about the railroad ties coming out and being like a platform, a little platform.
Again, with strollers.
But they can do that. Because if you do the steps with railroad ties, that help me if you think that I'm faltering. The railroad ties will give you a platform on each step.
Yes, I've built them.
Okay.
I was just putting that out as something was brought up as it was fine the way it is. Of course, it's not fine because they've had cracked vehicles in there now and it's kind of ripped up right there.
Along the bank.
Right in that walkway.
Oh, they'll fix that.
And the other problem with picnic tables down the center is that is traffic in and out in terms of vehicles.
Well, we can put them on one side if we want to. We could put it in front of where
I
the trees
I
are.
would, yeah, under the trees, so the ones up at the trees.
No, I'm talking about where the building is.
Well, we wouldn't have to designate where.
Yeah,
Right.
because the ones that are there now, the market pays for.
That was
And
just
the
a thought.
market puts that, and the market has a lounge, which we added, we're the only one that's got one. Place for anybody to come sit down, you partaken.
Yeah, they have a meeting area that's set aside that people can come and
Absolutely.
talk and so forth, warm up by the fire in the winter.
Yeah,
Like that. So Jim and Ryan, what do y'all have to add pertaining to
I
capital improvements?
think we're really close to budget. I think it's not in the time frame for us to have an effect. I think supportive work on infrastructure is the way to go. But then walk away from this year's budget and have everything well in hand.
Mhm.
And set a goal for maybe 6 months out. And then it's completed and ready for revision as we see things happening.
yeah, but we gotta have a dollar figure in the budget up front.
I will say that we've never had,
We've never done
We've
capital
never-
improvements plan before.
yeah, and
As a plan.
as a planning commission, and I think that it's going to be up to whatever they, and I'm sorry, you're like, my neck is.
No. I think, I was just gonna say that I think on any new, especially any potentially bigger projects.
Yeah.
We can't really speak to budgeting until we start getting information on costs. We get some quotes.
You gotta find the project.
And I'm
Find
happy
the
to
project
use
and then get some
construction,
money.
you know, connections that I have in what I do to reach out for those or connect people if somebody else wants to get the quotes in, whatever. But
Yeah.
also, I guess I have some general questions about like, where does the responsibility of existing property maintenance currently fall?
Property maintenance
For
for town.
Facility
Is
maintenance,
that where you
for
speak?
facility maintenance for mineral
That-
properties in general.
That's Hank,
Okay,
pretty much.
The town,
is that
the town historically
official?
has had a maintenance department. It
Right.
has been larger some years ago.
Mhm.
And I got on council in 2019. At that time, I think it was 2 full-time people. But then it became 1.5. And now we have no full-time people.
Okay,
And Hank is a regular part-time person that does the maintenance and other things aside.
okay,
And I think there's another gentleman, Tony Henshaw, who works 1 or 2 days a week, that's part-time.
Mr. Keller does some.
And I'm sorry, that's right, Mr. Keller is part-time handling the cemetery. That's where
Okay.
he cuts the grass and keeps that up. So though it's not our place to, I don't think we can help the council by coming up with ideas and everything, and we
Right.
should. But they're gonna have to determine the monies and what
No.
might work with it at this time.
that I understand. The reason I asked though is I guess I was wondering if there's a singular person that we could go to
Good question.
to ask for a presentation or or documentation of existing issues that
It would
need
have
to
to
be
be-
fixed, things that need to be, you know, could someone present to us so that we have a list of good ideas and then we could try to prioritize that and put it forth to
Yeah.
the council.
Yeah,
I remember when there was a director of public works and maintenance.
Right.
But that position doesn't exist now, or it's not filled.
Okay,
Right now, I would think the closest person to it would be the town manager.
Sure.
If we had a dedicated, full-time town manager.
Right.
We don't have that right now.
Sure.
So my thought, just to add to what y'all said, try to bring back around to where we can possibly give some input to the town council, which the planning commission hasn't done previously, is with such short amount of time left before the budget has to be completed, it has to be completed by the end of June. And they're working on their budget now, I'm sure. So they got like 90 days, I guess. I think the best that we can do personally is to maybe pass along a recommendation of what we think should be considered as a priority without us having any idea how much money. Because
Sure.
they in the future, they should be coming up with the money and telling us, we got this much money, what would y'all like, or what would you recommend for us to do with it? They're not in a position to do that now. So let's just say, in my mind, from hearing what y'all said, that maybe we end up giving a motion regarding the capital improvements plan for this year, that we, as a planning commission, recognize that the highest priority for capital expenditures for the town is most likely the water and sewer system, and that should take priority because it has to be done, has to be maintained and all. And second to that, what I'm hearing that the planning commission is interested, there's many different things possible, but secondly, I'm in favor of, and I'm hearing you all talking along those lines, that the second priority where there's money available and projects that maybe could be done is to look at the farmer's market, because the farmer's market has been in existence here for 16 or 17 years. Long time. It's been successful. It draws some public in. It's a pride of the town in my mind. And now the town owns it. It didn't used to. It used to be on private property, but it was donated to the town. So now the town has all the more reason to have to dedicate time to maintaining it and keeping it up and making it an even better place.
Sure.
So
To be exact, the town does not own the market.
right, it doesn't own the market though.
Property,
But
where
we're
the
property
market.
where it's to nothing. And we'd love to have them keep doing it there. And certainly the town shouldn't try to take ownership, I suppose, of the market itself. I'll get around to the point. I would say maybe we talk real quickly and come up with some of our ideas for them to take note of that the planning commission is interested in. And I've heard that would be some picnic tables additionally placed available, because this is a public park now. It's not just where farmers market meets. That's the primary thing, and they have priority on Saturday mornings for it and all. But it's got to be available to the general public, and they can come 7 days a week, dusk to dawn.
Right.
I think it says that on the sign. It's supposed to. So priorities might be that they get some additional picnic tables and things, and try to spruce up the place for usage at any time by the public. Steps are something that were suggested. You brought it up, Jim. I think in the area where the crosswalk is.
Yes.
Yeah, somewhere in the area where the crosswalk is, so that you can safely come down from the sidewalk level down to the lower flat area where farmers market is. So some sort of steps ought to be put in there. However, somebody else can figure that out. And I remember that it was in our comprehensive plan that the Whitlock Field would have a stage added at some point in time so that you could have entertainment or things like that coming out of the building. Now, a lot of work has to be done in the building, but it's too early. But maybe, the planning commission could offer to be in assistance with town council in looking at that building to come up with a plan for that building and what needs to be done. Top priority is fix the roof because it's in terrible condition, and that needs to be fixed before you can ever use it for anything.
I think we just about voted against any entertainment there or at the ball field, at the old schoolyard.
Well, my take on it was that you know, there was a lot of talk about, now that the town also bought the land across the street, which is the old school property, and that's a good thing. What is it gonna be used for? And there might have been some talk about having concerts there and doing a lot of things with it. And some of that may come about. I know the biggest thing that was talked about in the past was that there's insufficient parking and you need to have more parking. And that some portion of that over there should be to have additional parking for the whatever the complex there is doing and or what's going on across the street, because we got parks side by side. So I'm just saying, in my mind, and I'm only one of the 5 planning commission members, I would like to see the highest priority be to Whitlock Field, which has been used successfully for almost 20 years. And it is a center of attraction, and well, let's make it continue to grow, and that a plan be prepared for how to best utilize that, including picnic tables, including steps to safely get down there, handicap people to be able to get in and out of it and all. And to look at that building that's there to determine what needs to be done and get some prices on it. I.e., I know it needs to be painted, it's in terrible condition, but if you don't fix the roof, you're wasting your money.
Sure.
The mural is faded out and needs to be touched up. And then as far as what's the building used for, it depends on what's, you know, what can be done, and nobody knows until they get proper people to evaluate.
Yeah, right. We get engineers to look at our wells, we need an engineer to look at that building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's great money
there-
for anything
There
recreation.
is, that we have talked about, and we were there when we did the walkthrough,
Right.
is the flower bed in front of the mural is nothing but weeds.
Yeah.
And we've never been able to get rid of the weeds, and so we need to get rid of the flower bed.
Yeah, and just leave the 2.
And mow it. There is a piece of equipment in the building that I want to pull out of the building. It is an old apple cider press, and I want it up down. I want to repair it. I want to repair it, clean it up, and use it as some kind of festival thing.
I think that would be good.
Very good thought.
If you go into Mineral Barber Shop, I get my hair cut there. This is not a paid advertisement for them. But I was in there this week, and they're now opening up the section down below it, which used to be the donut place, I believe, moved out of it. And they have one, just like what we saw there, that's sitting there, and I wouldn't have even dreamed of the fact that I saw one when you and I were walking through there last weekend, then see one here. So that, I think that what we saw sitting beside the hull was the basket and all.
It's all there.
And if you want to see one,
Oh,
go drop by there. There's one, but I think you're right. It should be preserved. That's here in Mineral, and a good thing to preserve. So because we wanted to move along, how about let's somebody come up with a motion, and I would encourage the thought about passing along to the town council that as far as capital improvements plan, we have created a plan and we're going to work on that, and we're going to come up with priorities year by year, 4 or 5 year plan over time. Right now, the best we can do is offer you suggestions for some of the top priorities to address. Who wants to make a motion?
and the low hanging fruit, like replacement trees. So the motion would be that we provide for the council for the purpose of budget our prioritized list of where we think capital improvement should take place. Priorities being infrastructure.
Water and sewer.
Water and sewer. And I think that should stand on as, and then I have another one after,
Right.
We agree on that.
Well, let's just do it all together.
All right.
That's your highest priority, and
Highest
second,
priority
that would be.
would be to identify the low hanging fruit, the the
Obvious,
What was that?
the more obvious, maybe.
obviously, the ones that present themselves as easy to do, easily within reach, without requiring a huge outlay of capital, but maybe requiring an outlay of expertise and effort.
Obtainable.
Or
Obtainable,
what
that's a
specifically?
good word.
You want us to
Obtainable.
specify a couple of the
Again.
things that we just talked about? Oh,
They're gonna need, we're gonna need all new trees at the farmers,
Trees?
trees are on their last leg.
the ones along the sidewalk?
What?
As one way of doing it, curbing or some kind of parking limitation at one end. So the amenities for the seniors stressing me out.
Parking, what, are you talking about parking on the field?
I'm not certain. I'm going to just. I don't want to step in something that I've already had a conversation that I don't remember having.
Okay.
And so,
Ryan, you wanna take a crack at it, or, thank you, Jim, we'll work this out,
yes,
okay? Or Teresa, you wanna, I'm not supposed to make motions.
Yeah, I'm just,
Water and
Thinking-
sewer, trees, steps, picnic tables. The painting. At least touch up the
Right.
mural.
Right, and ultimately, but not immediately, ultimately, the roofing. And conclude that with design and cost estimates need to be sought, should be sought
so
For the building,
for the building
the
and
general, these general projects.
right,
okay, so
we're saying that the focus after
after water and sewer
it
should
should
be
focus around
with
Walton
Walton
Park.
Park. Yeah.
okay,
Well, whoever that deputy was.
What is it called? Whitlock?
Whitlock.
with like
Whitlock.
field, didn't it?
Whitlock.
It's park.
Park.
And again, that is accomplishing something as far as we're saying to council, in our mind anyway. Focus the things on water and sewer, and where there's other monies with top priority planning commission sees would be to look at the development and improvements that could be made to the Whitlock field as the next priority for funding of capital projects. This is, the trees by themselves would not be a capital project.
Right.
But if you add that in with all the other things, sure.
Okay, so that would be under the Parks and Recreation.
I was gonna say, could we kind of generalize it to say, to a priority would be as a secondary to the sewage to focus on easily identifiable and obtainable,
Sustainable this year.
updates and or upgrades to parks and recreation properties.
Yeah,
Well, that's, the only thing about that is parks and recreation can be obviously across the road as well and anywhere else, because if you create walking trails around town, it's
Mhm.
talk about going to the cemetery that
Right.
that's here in town, that's could be developed along the way. I'm
You're trying to make it more
I'm
specific
trying
to that
give-
property.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying,
see.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
A short, easy list. Yeah. Short, easy list,
Okay.
focus on the Whitlock Park,
We got
if
it,
y'all want that.
we got it. I just put motion for, provide a budget for, the CIP, water and sewage, and design and what was that other word we said? Design and at Whitlock Park,
Design and implement. as-
implement,
And rather than provide a budget, provide recommendations.
okay,
We
Determine
we have
costs.
no money.
design and implement for the budget year, this
Yeah.
year. For the budget year 26-27.
Your best shot. is to do that, but to list a couple of things if you really want
Yeah,
them to
because
think about it.
Yeah.
If you don't list them,
they won't spend it, but they have to fall out money.
I got
Yeah.
trees, steps, picnic tables and painting.
Right.
A start,
right?
just a
You
mural.
know, just to offer them some,
And then we, as a
Ideas.
capital improvements plan and CIP plan, should be looking at that, and then I think that's sort of what Maggie was gonna talk with you about.
yeah, I
and-
think she's already working, but. I mean, I thought, we actually hadn't talked about it in a little while, but my understanding was she was looking more at, I guess. New projects as opposed to what I would think of as more like maintenance.
Maintenance.
But maybe
Well-
maybe I misunderstood that too.
Well, I mean, I would love to see new projects in there too, but the budget is really small.
Right,
So
and we
this is
probably,
start.
and that's why my mind went to maintenance, because I think that should be the first focus. Bring everything back up to where it needs to be that we have,
Yeah, we have.
and then move forward into
Yeah.
other things.
Do the maintenance before it becomes a new project.
Exactly,
The
exactly.
only difference that comes to mind is if it doesn't exist, you don't have anything to maintain yet.
Right.
And we need to get it built, and then we need a maintenance department. I've always thought the town needs at least two people,
Sure.
or 1.5, if that's what it was. 'Cause that
Maybe
was
at least
right. We
like
need
a
some
full-time and a
department that's
part-time
here
or something,
during
yeah.
the day, not just
Right.
people that can be available
Yeah.
at nights and weekends.
One,
No
at least
difference.
one,
To
yeah,
hang and all,
Yeah.
or
full-time
to
position.
but, you know, you never know day to day what's gonna come up and what you need to react and have some hands available to deal with it.
Yeah, because they would be the one to provide us
Yeah.
what's needed,
Exactly.
instead of us trying to guess. Who seconds this?
I
The
think
motion was it?
Teresa. Okay, I thought it was Teresa.
Jim and then Ryan.
Oh.
Jen moves that we do stuff, and Ryan.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so we have a
okay.
motion by who?
Jim,
Jen.
Second by who?
Ryan,
Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ahead of you on that
And
one.
Mary knows exactly what to say.
Well, if she doesn't, she can call me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we cause you too much?
I'll replay several times.
I got you.
I think we know you're gonna focus or recommend that the town provide funding and everything, first priority water and sewer. There won't be any debate about that. And secondly, after that is focus on Whitlock Park and things that could be done to enhance that for the community. And you can list a couple of examples that came up.
Yeah.
All in favor of that? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's 4-0, that passed. CIP, thank you, folks. And what else, the Mineral Planning Commission committees, I don't think we need to do anything right now. Our last meeting, we debated whether we could have two people, or whether we had to, with 2 people or 3 people before you got to notify a meeting and keep minutes and all that. I asked on Commission, that the town get a legal opinion
Mhm.
so that all the chatter of different thoughts on it can be put to rest and have a legal opinion as to whether 2 people as a committee require public notice and minutes.
No, we
and all that
don't.
stuff.
I looked it up. It is 2. If you have 3, you have to have a public meeting and,
Right.
minutes need to be made, even if it's not a public meeting. But if there's any conversation about town business with 3 people, you have to have minutes.
You have to get notice of it, and you have to have minutes and all that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, if you're at a party or something, you can't give a notice. But
So you don't do it, you don't have 3 people.
That's right, but you know how people are. I mean, you can't bring it to the council. You just can't. So 2 people,
That's what it's been here forever. And
yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about, can the 2 people who are committee involve anyone outside of the commission to?
sure, we only.
No,
Yeah.
you can invite them. Well, you can invite them. They just
Invite
can't give
them
you any input.
So we
They
can't,
because you have to have minutes. It's the third person you're asking. and you're
oh, so
talking about
even if the
candidates.
third person isn't a member of the
No.
commission, it still applies that you have.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to
I
ask.
read it.
Wait
Wait a minute, I got it. Wait a minute, I think.
cause I took it as the third person. If it was at least three of
No,
us, it was official, but
Can't say again that I'm an authority, but I thought it was 3 elected officials being council members, or 3 planning commission members.
sure.
But
Appointed or
Just
like
three people.
members of the town's
But-
government, right, is the way.
I can't say that I got the verbatim.
I just meant like if 2 committee members wanted to go and speak with someone because they had questions, they were looking or wanted to get pricing information or like then you're involving another person, but
In the past, that what the town committees have done that I've been familiar with is it was 2 people on the planning commission or council.
Mhm.
And if they wanted to include other people, say it's beautification, if they wanted to bring in 10 volunteers and they help with it.
volunteers from the
that's great.
community, right?
If public works and water and sewer wanted to include Main Street plumbing and other people of experts
Mhm.
in their committee for input,
Exactly.
that was fine.
Okay.
As long as you didn't have more than 2 that were the elected or appointed officials.
Right.
That was our understanding.
That was
But
my
it's
question.
become debatable recently.
Okay,
So I asked on behalf of the planning commission to get an attorney's opinion
yes, okay,
ruling so that we can have something to stand on.
absolutely.
And we haven't got it yet.
Fair enough.
With that said, our committees right now are 1 person.
Okay.
That gives somebody
Yes.
direction that, and,
Someone can start working toward a plan. Makes
and
sense.
we have the CIP and all, which Maggie
Mhm.
is appointed as the chairperson of that. We have the committee to look at consistency between the charter and the code and the bylaws and rules of order, and Teresa is in charge of that.
Okay.
Maggie asked about special projects, and what I thought would do with that is give it a year's trial. So that's where we are.
Okay,
And so until the town council gets back with us, not appoint anybody else to any of those.
gotcha.
The definition of a meeting is broadly construed, intending to capture any meeting where public business is transacted or discussed. So it does, if they come in, if you invite somebody to come in and get their opinions and all that, and you got 3 people, then you're gonna have to get the minutes of the meeting.
I think anytime you set up a procedure to skirt what you perceive to be the rules, you're breaking the rules.
Right. Well, I look at it this way, and I
Mhm.
talked to Ed about this. Committees are, let's say I was in charge of streets and signs and sidewalks and all that. I'm not supervising anything. I am just turning in a report to give a status of what's going on.
Mhm.
That's all that a committee is supposed to
Supposed to
do.
be advisory. You
Well, I
can't
was-
decide and make a decision that.
I mean, I understand if
Planning
you're
commission or
seeing something you need to report on, but I'm thinking more from the direction of information gathering.
Yeah.
So that you can then bring it back to the
That's right.
commission.
But you are getting that information from the person on streets. Like I told the person in charge of the streets, I said, I heard complaints about certain streets had really massive holes in it. And it needs, that's what she'll report to the council. This needs to be taken care of.
Right.
Or if a sign's down.
Right.
If there's trash.
Yeah.
The sidewalks, if there's a lot of trees, that are, we have wind a lot. I reported that there was a lot of limbs and everything in front of the park, and I knew that they were gonna meet for, the farmer's market
Mhm.
the next day, and it was covered with branches, the whole thing. Then like from the snow and everything, there's piles of rock at the end of some of the sidewalks when you cross the street. And so you've got the handicap ramp, they can't put the wheelchairs through it, so that needs to be taken care of. That's what the committee does.
Yeah, and kind of to wrap it up is the planning commission never had committees. And it was Maggie and yourself at our first meeting that talked about committees and maybe creating them. So this is a new thing. We haven't done it before. Kind of looked at what the council had done and two made sense. It's not a matter of trying to skirt anything.
Right.
Not respectfully, I'm saying it's not trying to skirt anything from anyone. The way I look at a committee is you're hoping to make progress so that you can bring stuff to a meeting and get somewhere with it versus having to spend everybody's time starting from scratch
Exactly.
to deal with something.
Exactly.
And as far as the public needing to be present for that, if your committee is small and has no authority to obligate the planning commission or the council, and it's not in a position to do anything basically other than do the legwork and come back and report and decide something
Right.
by the group. And that's what would be a great enhancement for us.
Sure.
But if you gotta give public notice every time that you're gonna have this discussion and meeting, and you gotta keep minutes of it, and, you know, I would find if you invite other people to come, whether it's just the general public or some experts in an area, or, you know, if other people on the council or the planning commission came, you're gonna elongate your meetings and you can't hardly tell anybody that comes that you can't speak.
Right.
You have a hard
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
You get into a bad situation of the people wanting to, and then you've got to act,
Right.
you're ignoring them if you don't allow them to. So anyway, I don't know the right answer, but I say get a legal opinion and then
Yeah.
we can all work with whatever the legal opinion.
I think because where my mind goes, I think I'm viewing it a little differently than y'all. Because for me, it's like, okay, even if I'm the one person committee.
Yeah.
And I say, want to talk to a general contractor
Right.
about a potential project to get some baseline information
Right.
of what it would take to actually accomplish it.
Right.
If I go to meet with that company
Yeah.
and they bring, it's not just one person, but they bring two people to speak to me. Well, now I'm three people. Do I have to now take meeting notes and everything? That doesn't
If
seem
it's a
conducive
presentation.
to accomplishing what the goal of the committee is.
Right. We can make.
And that's why I'm trying to understand and get clarification on
You meeting with
an entity.
an entity,
Okay.
find that information and come back.
But if two
That's
committee
not-
members meet
No.
with the entity,
But it would be a
Is that-
presentation for you, and then that wouldn't be considered a meeting. Cause it's a
Okay.
presentation.
We all agree or disagree with the idea that it would be a great idea for council to get a legal opinion.
yes,
That they can
absolutely. And I,
substantiate their decision as well as ours on what can work and what has to be done,
exactly,
right?
yes.
Well, it's like today, I mean, I went over and tried to get the cost of what it would be for the signs
Yeah.
because there was somebody that said that they didn't have enough information or anything, so
Right.
that did it by myself. You know, just to get a price.
Sure.
And you have that thought too, because
Right.
we all have ideas.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with getting a price.
Okay.
I mean, that's not
I-
considered a
I'm
meeting.
just,
I don't think so, no.
again, trying to understand the
When you have
nuance.
three,
This is my
When
first.
you have three on a committee, the law in the state code is clear.
Three.
You gotta do that.
Right.
It doesn't say to do it for two, so. Not meaning to skirt anything, but what is required, what is not required. You can overcomplicate committees if you've got to open the doors and have tons of people in when you just try to come up with ideas to present.
Right.
And, but let's don't overthink it. Let's go do it. Let the attorneys say, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And you all need to decide what you think will
I just
work
don't want to
best
overstep.
legally.
Exactly.
And then I think with that, we have no other business unless the zoning administrator who left has a report, so she has not. And commissioners and town council, do any of you all want to bring up something that we have discussed?
No.
Not hearing anything is getting later all the time. I hear to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Jim, seconded for us to adjourn at, what is that, 8:35? 8:35 P.M. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It passes 4-0. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
TK.
Hold on, let me stop.